Okay, so there was a reason why there was a reason why you didn't see female dwarves in any of the Lord of the Rings movies or the Hobbit movies. Those movies that came out in like 2012, 2013. There was a reason why they didn't show female dwarves in any of these movies, because somehow like the director or somebody over there knew that the female dwarves had a lot of power, and basically they were these powerful melanated beings that resided in Middle Earth. And there was a reason why that Lord of the Rings franchise, there was a reason why like they half-assed that, was because, somebody over there told those people, okay, well, these female dwarves were in fact melanated beings. And these people over there, they didn't want people to know about that, okay? There was a reason for that. So yeah, there was a reason why they only showed the male dwarves as being like, Caucasian in appearance, or like, quote unquote like Viking-like in appearance. There were many races of dwarves, in Middle Earth. And, when those movies came out, they didn't put female dwarves in the movies because those people, they knew that the female dwarves were melanated. They had darker skin, and the female dwarves were actually the original beings that created Erebor in the first place. That's why Erebor had all of that wealth, that power, everything. So, and this just came to mind not too long ago, because I was actually watching Remedy H's channel, and I was watching a few videos about like the Anunnaki. On his channel, he has a few videos going over like, who we are, like who the Anunnaki really were. And the female dwarves of Middle Earth, they were actually the Anunnaki themselves, and this is why they didn't want to put any female dwarves in the movie, because these people, they knew who they actually were, and they were, somewhat indigenous, kind of like when you watch the movie Black Panther. The melanated women in those movies were quote unquote like Amazon women, but in Middle Earth, the female dwarves were actually darker skinned. So that's why they didn't put the female dwarves into the movie, because they didn't want people to know, like, okay, well, where did the dwarves actually get their power from? They didn't want to show that in any of the movies. So, and this somewhat came as like a download, or like some information that came from the spirit. So yeah. Female dwarves were actually indigenous people that created that whole that whole thing with like Erebor, it being like made of like Isifo, the Isifo diamonds, the Isifo crystals. Where did Erebor get all of that power from? How did they cultivate that civilization of the Lonely Mountain of Erebor? Is because the Lonely Mountain was actually created by these highly intelligent beings who were melanated dwarves. They actually created the Lonely Mountain. And in the movie, it depicts the dwarves as like this Viking kind of like, shorter beings, but in reality, they were really advanced. They were really tall. And I'm gonna make another video about, this will be later, but I'm gonna make a video about how I think they told us a lie about like how the giants, I guess, were actually like the dinosaurs, or the dinosaurs were actually these giants that existed like way back when. They just, they gave us a lie, and they wanted us to think that, oh yeah, okay, well yeah, these dinosaurs were like these giant beings who roamed the earth for thousands of millions of years. Okay, well no. The dinosaurs were actually like these giant beings who actually roamed the earth, and they actually cut down, they had tools that actually cut down these giant, massive trees that we barely even see today. I know that there are, giant like stumps. I don't really know specifically where they're located, but there's these images of like these giant stumps that have been petrified, all throughout the world. I'm not really sure where they're located, but yeah, the dinosaurs were actually, they wanted us to think that the giants were these, nasty, like carnivorous, reptilian, dinosaur-like beings, when in actuality, like they were humanoid, they were human-like, and I'm thinking like the giants were actually like really tall, big, dwarf-like beings who were just really, really big. And society wants us to think that they were nothing more than just like these like violent freaking reptile fucking beings who existed a long time ago. They wanted us, they depicted it in movies. And it's like, and when you think about it, it's like, okay, well, why were the dinosaurs so large? Like why were they so large? Why were they so big? Is because, the media and society and like what they wanted us to see in these movies, as far as like what we thought quote unquote dinosaurs were actually the very tall, very big, massive Anunnaki beings that existed on this earth billions of years ago. And for whatever reason, like something like had wiped them out or something. Like that's what I'm getting right now from that.